You know that you have a problem when your car has wheels not only on the outside, but it also has wheels on the inside. Coming up next. So I have this massive problem in this massive interest in cars, and it's to the point that this car right here has grown wheels on the inside of it as well as on the outside. But we're gonna solve that right now. We're gonna, change some things around. Hopefully this time I got things right. I believe that I have a set of 18-inch monoblock AMG wheels that might just fit on this car. I tried to put some other 18-inch wheels on this car prior to that, and they were some aftermarket, like they had the same bolt pattern, but the offset was completely wrong. So I was trying to do all this modification stuff to make it work, cutting bolts, using hub-centric rings and all this kind of stuff. But nothing really worked out properly. Hopefully this time everything should work out properly, and I'm gonna show you guys why. Because these wheels right here should not only fit the bolts properly, but they should also be the proper offset to fit my beautiful C230. Now the front wheels are, I think they're 35 plus 35, so they're a little bit shallower, or a little bit more of a factory OEM offset, and then the rear wheels are 29s, which should pop out just a tad bit to fill up this wheel well right here. And if you look right here, you can see where the 35 box look just kind of sits so far inside of the wheel. Hopefully this will make everything look a bit fuller and a little bit wider in the back. And I'm also going to be lowering this car, believe it or not. I have a lowering kit that I've had since this summer sitting in the trunk of this car that I have yet to put on, because I've been trying to get everything together as far as parts and everything, sourcing everything to get this project off the road. But this is going to be the first major hurdle jumped as far as the project budget Benz project goes, because getting these wheels proves to be a task. So let's go ahead and put these wheels on and see how they look. Hopefully they fit. Please fit. So I'm going to be going from 15s to 18s here, and hopefully these fit. It's probably going to lift the car up slightly, but I don't know. I don't really know how this is going to sit. I don't even know if this is going to work, but I'm going to hurry up and do this and see what happens, because the sun is going down and it's cold. So let's go! Alright, so we're gonna lower this thing. I mean, it looks like it should clear. It looks like it should work. So we're gonna lower it and see how this looks. Looks like it's out much. Okay, so now the car definitely needs to be lowered. Definitely. That thing is like high like a tank now.
Yes, that is very true. It looks super high.
Yes. So once I put the lowering springs on here, well, I gotta see if this thing even dries first. Then maybe like lowering springs, and then we'll go from there.
See how it goes.
So let's continue installing the rest of the tires. Or should I drive it like this with one
With
big tire, just to make sure everything can move? No? Oh man.
It's not going nowhere.
Damn.
I'm afraid to push gas.
Yeah, if it's stuck, that means it's hitting something.
I mean, like my
Yeah, it should be rolling. Damn it. Alright, so with these right here, with these wheels, the screws, or not screws, but the wheel nuts are going in too deep, and they are hitting the back of the axle, causing the vehicle not to be able to roll back. So I got to figure out why that's happening and what's going on with these wheels and why these wheels are behaving in that manner. So I'm going to take them off and we're going to try something different. I also have some shortened bolts that might actually cure this anomaly, but we're going to go see what happens right now. So we switched out these wheels and put shorter bolts in. I had some shorter bolts from my previous attempt at this, and we took the 35 that I thought was supposed to be on the back I mean on the front, we put it in the front and the rear, and then the 29s, I guess they're more narrow. It's weird. Like these wheels are really weird because so the 29 looks like it should be in the front because it's a narrower rim, and then the 35 is wider and it looks like it should be in the back, but it's weird because the 35 is that's a bit more in instead of out. You would think that the rear wheels would be out more, but I guess it depends on what kind of application these wheels were on before. I'm not really sure what these wheels were on before. I bought them second or third hand on what was it, Craigslist or something like that, or no, Facebook. But yeah, so we're gonna lower the car. We're gonna see if it rolls this time. Fingers and toes crossed. See if this thing rolls. Be gentle.
Yeah, it rolls.
Wow.
Doesn't scrape nothing.
It's not scraping anything.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be darned.
Well, let's hope the other
Are
one.
you sure when the scrape anything is the back was going up? Whoa, watch the door.
I don't hear anything.
Nah,
It
I
goes
guess
very
it's not.
smooth. It goes without, like, there's
Yeah.
no resistance.
So go forward now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't feel nothing. Like, there's no.
All right. Well,
It's very smooth.
huh, all right. Maybe we can rock with it.
Let's try the rest now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the other one I could feel like, how, obviously, you know, but this one was very smooth, just like it normally backs out.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing.
So that little battle seems like it might have been a success. I'm still kind of scared because I believe that these wheels demand the OEM conical seat bolt, and these are cone seat bolts that I'm using on here. So I'm kind of sketchy about that. This is not going to be permanent. This is just for testing purposes. I'm probably going to have to really sort it out and get some shorter conical bolts to make this fit properly. But like I said, this is testing purposes. So now we're going to move on and test the front wheel and see if we can get this front wheel on and see what we end up with. So fingers and toes crossed. Oh my God, this is so yeah. Anytime you're doing anything custom, moment of truth, we're gonna go ahead and try to mount this one to the front, and you can also see that my rotors really are done and need to be changed at some point. But as I'm going through and getting this car where I want it to go aesthetically, and I figure out how I want to do everything, I'm gonna go through and do some other preventative maintenance, changing the oil, filters, brakes, rotors, all that kind of stuff, because since I got this car running, I literally have done nothing to it as far as maintenance goes. I haven't changed the oil, I haven't changed any fluids, brakes, nothing. I just crank this car up and go, and this thing is so reliable, it needs some loving. All right, we're gonna lower it and see if it rolls. How's it look?
A lot better than the other ones.
Two down, two to go.
Hey, we might be able to finish the project.
We might. I still don't really feel comfortable with those back wheels though. So we're trying to figure out this wheel setup and what's gonna look the best on here. Now we're gonna try this 29 in the back since the offset should be out more. It's a narrower rim, but the offset is out. So I feel like that's maybe to compensate the rear, the narrow rear on these older Mercedes. And then we're gonna put the 35 in the front, which is more in. So let's see how that works and see if that looks better, and then we might switch the other side. Fingers and toes crossed. All right, let's do the old roll test and see what happens. So I've made a decision. I am going to go ahead and put the wheel that I know is wider in the rear anyway, even though that the offsets are so different. Whatever car this was on before probably had some funky axle widths. So yeah, the wider wheels are just going to go in the back, and we're going to call that a day. So I'm just going to take this one off, do a switcheroo, and then we'll be done. And we're going to see how decent this thing rides on these these monoblocks I scored off of Facebook. So here we go. Just wrapped up the Project Budget Benz wheel changing exercise. I like these wheels. They're a bit big. I mean, they're 18s, and we're going from a 15-inch wheel to an 18-inch wheel. Definitely looks like the car is going to need to be lowered now, and it's probably going to be strange trying to see how this car fits lowered on 18s. It's probably going to be a struggle, but we're going to see what happens. I got to find some wheel bolts for the rear wheels that are conical instead of the cone type. Make sure that all that kind of stuff is safe. And it drives pretty smooth so far on the parking deck. But we're going to go ahead and torque the wheels and then go and drive on the actual road and see how it feels on the road. I'm scared to drive it on the highway though with those bolts like that. So I guess we've made a little bit of progress with Project Budget Benz. I know a lot of people have been asking about this project and where we were going with it and what was happening, because a lot of people are apparently into these cars, and they're awesome cars. They're fast, they're light, that four-banger goes like crazy, but it's definitely been a battle to get any parts for this car, and finally we've made some movement forward. I'm your brother Reza, KRT Life, KRT Life with the Y. Thank you to the beautiful sister Kat for working the camera machine and all the fancy lights that we have set up right now, because it is pitch black dark, and we started when the sun was out. Anyway, I'm about to drive this machine and hopefully nothing happens. See y'all. Peace. What's the number one rule of project cars? They're never done. Look at the AMG Project 1.